say for example, somebody wants, or it's in the thought process to buy the property, what would you advise them?
An understanding of what you want probably is the first step, and obviously the budget. And then find yourself a good agent, to be honest with you, one that if you've got a friend or family member who's used before, probably a referral, I'd go with them, because obviously their service is going to be what you're looking for, and trust them to guide you through the process. I know Dubai, especially the real estate industry, has a certain reputation, but working in the industry and working with agents, not only in-house now, but other brokerships, I know there are a lot of good agents. So just find one that suits your criteria and help them guide you through the process.
I mean, you want to have fun as well, right? Like I was out with a client yesterday. We went to 3 different areas, and at the end of it, she said, "Oh, that was so fun." And that's what you want the experience to be. At the end of the day, like, yeah, I think we had a training session this week, and I think one of the stats that come out with this is that people spend more time food shopping than they do property shopping, and that's crazy, right? And I don't know if it was you that said it or you passed it on from someone else, is that when you're working with these clients, is you want to treat them with the same respect and intensity as if you were finding a property for your mum or your dad or someone in your family. And I think when you have that level of dedication and care for a client, it goes a long way. They can see that. They can see you're practically going to war for them. Like I said today, either try and find the right property deal to get the best deal as well. And when you get to that level with clients where they listen to what you're saying, they trust what you're saying, you found the best solution for them, it's quite rewarding as well, because at the end of the day, you can see the vision and process for them, but when they believe it as well and they can see it as well, it's like we're on the same team. We know exactly what we're doing here, whether it's an investment property or your future home to raise your kids in. So that's the incredible process. I think sometimes you get caught up in what you're actually doing, but home is when you spend a lot of your time. Like you create memories for last a lifetime and pass down to future generations, and that's what we're doing here. We're selling these homes.
You said home is something that you own for a lifetime and passed on to future generations. Just with that, I wanted to ask you, what is the rule for freehold properties? Do you have the property for more than 99 years?
Yeah. So leasehold is when it's 99 years, and then you have to renew the lease as well. So yeah, we deal in freehold areas. So yeah, we've got a couple of colleagues that specialize in the leasehold side, but I'm not sure how confirmed it is, but there are some rumors that the leasehold will convert to eventually a freehold. But yeah,
for the ones who want to save up on paying their rent, or maybe pay their rent and own the property eventually, what kind of advice would you give them?
I mean, right now it's an interesting time in the market. Both sides, the rental market and sales market, are doing very well. But at the moment, the opportunity cost of renting is higher than if you had a mortgage with the current rates, even though they've gone up. So listen, if you're in a position where you can buy right now and you can own your own asset, it's still way more valuable than paying off rent, as paying on someone else's mortgage or income as well. And again, it comes back to our financial backgrounds. What makes sense? I mean, some people, they have concerns of where the market's going to next in this global uncertainty with potential recession on the way. And it's valid concern, right? As we're planning to make our own investments here and buy properties here as well. So it's something you definitely have to reflect on. But Dubai is in such a unique position where they've pivoted themselves very well since COVID. They had very strict lockdowns. It didn't spread as crazy as it did. And from there, I think they've taken advantage of the fact that the rest of the world hasn't been as good as them in that respect. They've relaxed the visas. They made it much more easier to come into the country. They're much more easy to invest in businesses. And a lot of our clients that are moving across here are bringing their business with them as well. And their plans to double the population over the next 5 to 10 years, that's only going to take the market from strength to strength. So if you're in a position where you're renting and you can purchase an asset, fantastic. I think this is still a great time to do so. If, of course, you're still saving in that process, yeah, you have to be quite disciplined with what you're doing. You have to have a budget in that respect as well. At the same time with me, when I was in London, I was 19, 20, I was paying, I think, 2,000 GBP, so about 8,000 dirhams a month just in rent alone, not bills, not expenses, not going out. And at the same time, I was trying to save for a property. And the only way to do that is sacrifices. You have to be meticulous in what you're purchasing, your meal plan, not going out so much as well. And that's a sacrifice you make, right? Because eventually you can then own an asset where, like I said, you're not paying off someone else's mortgages. You're not paying someone an income just to live somewhere. And especially in this rental market here where the rents are quite high, you want to be able to try and do that as soon as possible if you have plans to be here in the long run, of course.
Yeah, like just to summarize what Jake said, rent or buy, you're paying a mortgage. You'd rather pay your own, right?
For a good property, what would be the budget, in your opinion? Of course, I know it's a perspective, but what would you say would be for a flat, and then we go for a villa?
My knowledge on flats is probably less depth than villas, but I think around maybe 2 to 2.5. I think is a strong budget for an apartment. You get obviously a premium location, and obviously I think you'd get a good view. So I think around 2 to 2.5 million.
Amenities?
Yeah, the amenities come. I think most sort of premium towers or premium buildings obviously have the gym, the swimming pool. Some have, I don't know, squash courts and etc. etc. But yeah, I think it's subject to each different tower.
Yeah, we're definitely biased working in the luxury side of things. Like we live in Arjan and JVC, so like we see these developments going up quite quickly where they're from developers that aren't as well known. So we've been able to get an understanding in that respect. But sometimes we have these conversations with family, and like we're just. I remember my mum and dad came here just a couple of weeks ago, and I was just showing them around the different places, and they were like, "You've normalized what it is, like even a gated community in London, like from where we're from." That was on the other side of London in the west, right? I'd never even seen one. I didn't even know they were in London. Coming here and then selling inside them, it's quickly become normalized in terms of you have a pool on your doorstep, you have like palm trees outside lit up every day, and like a skyline view, a golf course view, a lake view, like completely modern luxury. It's just where we see it day in day out. It's just the norm for us now. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, yeah, probably 2.5 million is a good budget, but you can go further out and find value elsewhere as well. Mm-hmm. That's the thing with Dubai. Quickly when we came here, we learned that you want to be 10-15 minutes away from everything, but a commute in London, a good one, is 45 minutes. So if you are willing to go further out, and I think the trend this year has been that buyers are starting to go further out because there is more value out there in terms of plot sizes, built up area as well. If you're willing to do that, great. You can find some better stuff out there as well.